Okay, so not really ideal conditions for a walk around video. It's windy, there's traffic in the background, but we'll give this a try. So this is my 1987 Peugeot 505 STX V6 5-speed. And this is going to be my winter project. I hope to be driving this next spring. Anyway, so let's go have a look at this. Well, previous owner blacked out the headlight surrounds, and that actually looks really good, so I'm going to leave that alone. I have a grill that the chrome's maybe a little better on it, so I may just replace the grill. But it's hard to say. I haven't actually really cleaned this car up yet and had a good look at it, so I'm just going to find a way to polish that, clean that off, and see what I can do about just improving the look of the paint without actually repainting it. That's in the cards at some point, but I can't afford to do it just yet. This piece has been trimmed, has been painted body color. I like that. That's another nice touch. It actually works really well. It used to be silver and always just kind of stood out like a sore thumb. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to move the bumpers in a little bit closer to the body like the Europeans. This line here, I'm just going to move this back so that it lines up with this. This will be about 1.5 inches further in. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that. It'd be sure nice to keep the shocks intact, but I don't know if there's a way to do that and accomplish the look I'm after. Fog lights are stock. One of them isn't working quite right. Anyway, I'm actually going to pull these off. I've got some similar units. They're aftermarket, 55 watt. I'm just going to replace the stock Peugeot units with these aftermarket ones. They're going to fit in well with the look of the car, and they're a little lower profile. And if they break or whatever, they're cheap to replace. The chrome fender arch trim is that's kind of a love it or hate it thing. I don't really mind it, but I actually kind of prefer the look of it without, so I'm going to find a body shop to very carefully remove these pieces of trim. Rims look pretty good. I do have one more set of rims that if anything else, or if anything, is actually even better looking than these, so the best 4 late model alloys I've got are going to go on this car, and I'm going to put the center caps back on because I just kind of prefer the way that looks. I've got some good aftermarket mud guards. I'm going to put a full set of these on the car. For some reason it actually looks really good on these Peugeot 505s. Oh, and I guess the other thing on the front end, I'm going to see if I can just drop the front end about 3/4 of an inch or an inch. Haven't quite figured out how yet. This car's got the later model front suspension. I'll only do that if I can accomplish it without messing up the handling. And I'm looking at a few options that way. Paint here needs some attention, as you can see. Windshield is in great shape. It's got one little stone chip, so I'm going to just fix that and it'll be done. When I do get around to getting this car painted, not sure if I'm going to be able to respray the whole thing in one shot or not, but definitely the top of the roof is where it needs the attention. Sunroof isn't working right now. I'm going to fix that. Wheels, same thing as before. Mud guards going on back there. Previous owner fitted a spoiler to it. I have mixed feelings about these ducktail type spoilers, but probably I'll leave it. I'm just going to tidy it up and put the badging on. Everything else looks pretty decent. Now the bumpers, rear bumper as well, I'm going to move these in quite a bit closer, probably, well, at least 2 to 3 inches closer to the body. Just tuck it in, it'll look a little tidier and it'll be kind of more in line with what the Europeans had. And the rest of the body, as you can see, is actually in pretty decent shape. The paint's not great, but it's straight. All the trim's in decent shape. So mostly externally, I'm just going to clean this car up a bit. Okay, so let's have a look inside. Typical Lethbridge wind. Okay, so dark blue leather seats. The C-pillar covers have got to be changed out. They're actually kind of sun damaged and cracked in a few spots. I do have spares. The seats themselves are in pretty good shape. They're a little dry. I haven't cleaned anything up in here yet, so there's still a bit of cleaning to be done and that. But the seats are in good shape. I do have, however, one more set in the same color that, if anything, is even better. The best set of seats that I have will wind up in this car. Now, as far as the fronts go, no contest. These ones are fine, but I have a set that actually looks brand new, and so they're going to go in here as well. Okay, shifter. Shifter is pretty badly worn out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to completely rebuild the shifter. It's going to get an aftermarket shift knob. It's going to get rod ends everywhere. I'll custom fabricate what I have to, but what I'm looking to do is tighten up the throws, make everything very, very smooth and very, very accurate. So what I'm looking for is to replace this with basically kind of like that, maybe about half the throw, and of course a lot less lateral travel as well. Car's got a dash mat. You don't see these much in Canada. Kind of almost thinking it's a California thing, but I actually like this. It's a good idea. So I'm going to put this back on, but kind of hard to see, but there are some cracks in this dash, despite the fact that it was protected in that way. Now, I have a perfect blue dash that's going to go in this thing. So by the time all is said and done, the interior is going to be largely perfect. Sunroof needs a little attention here. That's fine. I'm going to pull the headliner down, have a look. I have one other headliner that might even be a little better, so I need to fix the sunroof. I want it to work. I want everything in this car to work. Instruments are fine. Car has 163,000 miles on it. Actually, I shouldn't say the instruments are fine. The tach doesn't work. It shows 1,000 RPM no matter what gear you're in or how fast you're going. So I'll pull it out and fix that. Steering wheel's got some sun damage. That's fine. Steering wheel's coming out. I've got a 3-spoke Nardi that I'm going to order for this car. It's a little smaller too, 350 millimeter. So it'll look really good in this car. And between that and the aftermarket shifter and a few other touches in here, it's going to look pretty cool. Okay, so that about covers the interior. Might as well fire it up and hear it run. There we go. That wasn't too bad at all. Notice the alternator light. The alternator is, in fact, failed on this thing. I drove it back from California most of the way like that, and so it's going to have to be rebuilt. Not a big deal. Just let it warm up a little bit. I pop the hood. 2.8 liter PRV V6. This engine was used in a lot of different cars. All kinds of Volvos, Peugeots, and Renaults. It was used in the DeLorean in an earlier version. This is the even fire version, so it has offset crank throws. It's a 90-degree V6, so it's got an inherently odd firing order, but they, like I said, they compensated for that. This is an unbelievably smooth engine. Really, really, really smooth. It's, you know, even as an odd fire engine, the only time you noticed the imbalance was at idle. There's no requirement in Canada for me to run the original airbox, so I'm going to probably either clean or replace this unit with another similar one. I'll fit an AGM battery at some point. And just attend to a few other things under here. The AC needs to be fixed as well. Got all kinds of torque. It's 27 miles per gallon on the highway. And yeah, these engines are just a delight to drive. They make nice noises at high RPM too. So there we go. That's it. That's the car. That's as she sits now. I'm going to post updates as I repair various things. And then I'll do kind of a wrap-up video in the spring if everything goes according to schedule. Once I've completely gone over this car and I'm ready to put it on the road, and we'll take it for a drive and see if I've succeeded in my goals here. That's it for now.